Hello. I wanted to bring a little update on how my giant little golden book is coming along. And I am so in love with it. I just love it. This is the cover. I'll zoom in here in a second and kind of show you some of the details. It still needs more work. I'm just so in love with it that I just wanted to stop and share it. So it's gonna house my cards. They're in there. And this is, I'm sending these to the state fair, and I needed a way to protect my cards, and I was gonna make this kind of like bulletin board kind of school style. Oh, bummer. It's backwards. Hold on. That's the back. You know, it's going to be like this. So it can be displayed. I can't really tell, but like that V, kind of like how you would have like a school science project. So the cards will be on these pages inside. And so I don't have the right size sticks, so I got to get some wood. I'll get that in a couple of days when I'm in town. And then I'm going to hang the little cards inside here so they can still be flipped up and you can see what the prompt was. And then it'll close. And then this will be how I can store the cards and transport them. And so then that's the cover of the book. So this was a collab I did last year. I was going to figure out how to get to the fair last year. So there's the little cards. That was Beauty and the Bee by Polly at Polly's Pretties. And so then I've since now made the cover. So let's zoom in. So I had just a little bit of paper left from the other project, and I ended up adding these. These were just cards. They were actually cards I'd had, you know, blank cards, and I used I just cut the card and use the pattern. So it's got the little honeycomb there and the little drips of honeycomb. And then I added these, which I just cut out of a card as well. So those were a card, and I cut those out, and they just made me think of like dripping honey. And so I added the gems, and we've got this little girl. She doesn't have anything in her hand yet. I don't know what she's going to be carrying yet. I've still got to get, I don't have any bees, so that's on my list. Then I made a little crochet clouds. And then this is, you know, my queen bee. She's got her honey wand scepter. And I just added little details like I just put a beads on there, and she's got her royal crown. She's so cute. And she's sitting up there on the nameplate that I made. That's a piece of wood that my mom had gave me. And I painted it with a whitewash and then gold paint. And then I did the lettering there with markers or paint pens and added gems. And so it's Beauty and the Bee. Oh, so cute. The little crowns sit on that bee so perfectly. I had to put it on there. And then I've got this little girl. She's one of the little, garden fairies, and she's watering the flowers. And so I've given the watering pot some gems. They're dripping onto the flowers. And these are some flowers my mom had just recently given me, and I really loved them. They were they have movement. So they're long and wispy. So the piece itself, is movie. I was a florist for many years, and I really liked to make my arrangements with movement. And so I added, like we have some spray roses coming in, and our little ladybug friend there, and the book. And what I did with the spine was, this is a really wide black ribbon, and then I used this kind of, gold ribbon there. And to me, that kind of made it look like a golden book spine. So I really liked that element in there. And then I've got this one. She's hanging out on the rose, and she's playing a little song. And so I've got her little arms there, like she's folded them up. So she's playing a little song. And then I made a picket fence using some paper. These were some, you know, big like cutouts that I'd had forever and a day. Put them in the background, kind of give that, get up out of the way. And then I've got this little girl right here who is, you know, inspecting a ladybug with a magnifying glass. She's so cute. She's kind of hanging out there, and that's what she's doing. She's going, hey, look how cute. And so I have a few more little details and elements I want to add to it, you know, so that in my pieces I really like, so that the more you look, the more you see, you know, you're like, oh, look at that. Oh, I didn't even notice that. You know, I love when people look at my stuff and don't notice things, you know, and then they'll look at, oh, I looked at that forever and I never even saw that tiny little, you know, butterfly there, or whatever it is. To pull them off, I had been using, to make my items kind of look 3D, I had been using, you know, like, you know, foam pieces or, you know, some type of rise. And I just don't like the way that looks when I see it from this side. I know you're not supposed to be looking at the side, but, you know, I know that it's there. I don't like that square block back there. So, I just decided that I was going to start using buttons. So I have tons of buttons. I mean, the drawers are full of buttons, but, so I found buttons, you know, nothing fancy, and I glued them on top of each other in a stack, and that's what is supporting the little girl. So behind her head, there's a stack of buttons. So I'm not sure you'd be able to see it. So now from the side, when I look in, it's rounded, and it has, it's not going to focus, but you can see it's buttons. So even if I'm looking back there, I might go, how did she do that? I'm going to look and go, are those buttons? I think those are buttons. So I liked that element too. Same thing with her. So I'm forget that fun. I just use little bits and pieces that I save from packaging. And so I don't have like a stock of it. It's just something, if I need it, I'll go yank it off something, or you cut off a piece of cardboard from a box. But I'm totally using buttons from now on. Forget that. Forget the other stuff. It's buttons all the way. So I really love that. It really does have this kind of wiggly element. I just love it. So I have a few more little bits and bobs. Like I said, I don't have any bees anymore because I used them all up for the cards last year. So I am going to go to the craft store and find some little bees, and you know, I've maybe a couple of other tiny little things that I've thought of if I could work it out. I also want to make the book with a, you know, with a lip, so that when the cards are in it, it's not laying flat. It's going to give me, you know, the spine, but I want the whole, you know, I want that too. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to, might do like a lip, a dowel, I don't know, just something to give it. I have looked at turning it kind of into a box. I really need to decide how difficult that's going to be, if that's something I want to do. So now my family is like, well, now that you've done this, how are you going to display that? So I don't know now. I don't know, but I love it. I could always take it apart and just hang this up on the wall or whatever, but it's just pretty to me. It's a neat way to, so I'll show it to you when it's completely finished. I just kind of wanted to give the update. So the book will open like this, and inside, and it will sit on the table like that as a display, and the cards will be inside, and then you can close the book, and there is the little garden, you know, garden fairies tending, the little garden fairies tending the garden with the little bees. So I love it. And here's the cards. Here's the little cards in here. And they're so cute. My mom and I were looking at them again as we were kind of, you know, looking at, and we just sat down and looked at each one. I was like, oh, they're so pretty. Just so, all the little details, you know, those little glitter I put on the top, and then the little flower dress. And She's got little leaf wings. Her wings are made of leaves. And the little crochet. And I just have so much fun making these. This was the word bloom and flowers. So I really can't wait to see it completely finished. Anyway, that's 10 minutes of one project that I just think is adorable. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I'm just really pleased with how this is turning out. Okay, that's my update for now. I'll talk to you guys at another time. Bye.